started really tracking my time, and I was like, oop, delegatable. And then I just started doing that. So, yeah.
Most leaders also, I will also have this feeling that it's not delegatable. They build it up that no, nobody can do this but me. And so I just want to address that real quick, in that if you're talking with someone who's the right person and they've been doing this and they're well trained, they will be able to say, no, actually, it is delegable. Here's what that could look like. Because just the fact that you're able to say delegable, that's kind of a struggle and a bottleneck for a lot of folks out there that are like, it always has to run through me. I promise you it doesn't. And even if an assistant can get you 90% of that task done and you do the final 10, that alone has bought you back a tremendous amount of time.
Welcome to Spaghetti on the Wall, where we throw ideas, see what sticks, and nurture those that do. I'm your host, Armando Leduc, an actor, entrepreneur, and coach, giving you insights that light up your world. We're here to explore the realms of business, marketing, and life, serving up a shot of inspiration with every episode. Ready to make ideas stick and grow them into something great? Let's dive in. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on when you are consuming this podcast. Spaghetti on the Wall, back with another one. Kyle Walbrun in the house. What's up, dude?
What's going on, Armando? How's it going, man?
It's good. My podcast, my roadcaster's so far away. That's why I'm having it pop in. So we're both members of the Visionary Forum.
Yes.
And the summit was last week for us. And they did this exercise where they said, I want you to write down on a piece of paper what you're done with. And we're going to throw it in the fire, right? And my thing was, I'm done being so damn serious.
I love it.
I'm so serious these days. And if you knew me from my 20s, you would know that I am not that guy. Yeah. Like, completely, like, did improv comedy and wrote sketches and just was, always involved, creatively, and was acting and music. And now it just feels so business. It's so serious. And I'm like, dude, I'm done with I can still do business, but I want to have a good time.
Yeah,
right?
Heck yeah, man.
And so, love that you're here, and we're going to get popping. Like, we're going to talk about all of the things that you do. But give us some backstory. Keep it to 2 minutes. Yeah. And just tell us how you got to where you're at.
Yeah, appreciate it. And again, just thanks, Armando. It's awesome to be here with you, and I love the vibe and the energy that you bring, because I would agree with you. Life's too short to be so serious all the time. Yeah. But a little bit of background. So I'm the founder and visionary of a company called EfficientAide. We're an assistant company. And really, our purpose and the reason I get up every day is just helping leaders buy back their time and own tasks to remove worry away. I find that my passion it's an old model where leaders can hang their hat on, I work 70 hours a week or 80 hours a week. Ooh. That just means you're not working smart. There are so many resources available to you, and EfficientAide was born at the purpose of helping folks out by giving them a place to delegate to, and not just a place to throw it over and hope it gets done, but a really high caliber approach where to truly manage them versus having these leaders have another person they have to manage themselves. So I sit in the founder's seat, and I started the company about 14 years ago. Been assisting leaders along the way, and what's very interesting. So founder, visionary of EfficientAide by day, and I am a llama farmer by night. We'll see. I'm limited, here in time, but in short, in my free time, I live on a farm here in the mountains of Colorado, and have some.
Can you ride llamas?
What's that?
Can you ride a llama? No.
That's a great question, Armando. If you can, I am certainly not privy to that, but you may be able to ride a llama. We have some llamas. They're mainly used to just look really pretty and be lawnmowers, and you can collect their wool. But a lot of people use them out here in Colorado as pack animals to help pack in for camping or hunting adventures. But they are bizarre creatures. So, in short, business owner by day, llama farmer by night.
Never heard that. So
Not many people have.
man. So that's awesome. All right, let's hop in because I love this topic because I get into talks about with people about like virtual assistants.
Yeah.
And the big problem with a lot of these companies, and I've had it myself, right?
Yeah.
Like you go, oh, I need an assistant, right? You hire somebody, you don't have time to train them, right. You don't have time to pour into them. They're sitting around, they want to help you, and then 6 months later, you're like, you got to go. Like, I don't know why I even hired you, right? And then it's just like, this didn't work. And then what happens is they're back to doing the same thing over and over again. So talk to me about that pain point specifically. How do you guys help with that specific pain point?
Yeah, it's a great question, Armando. And I'll also just reiterate, you're exactly right. Most leaders have had a sour taste. And I'll also say that really what has happened is due to the pandemic and varying stuff going on in our world, everybody is a VA. And there's varying levels of what that expertise looks like. But to answer your question directly, our approach are very high caliber, proven assistants. And the way we solve that, Armando, is our model is very different than most. Most VA agencies, you're going to hire them as a 1099. They're going to place you with a 1099 contractor. Well, what that means is there's not as much QC. There's not as much training and onboarding that goes along with that, and there's a lot of churn, which is also a pain point that parallels what you're mentioning as well. So our approach is don't want to place you with just another contractor that I have a relationship. I'm giving you someone on part of the family here that we've meticulously trained, onboarded, has proven experience, because you're exactly right. There's no point in bringing on EA when you just have another person to manage. So our approach is more of a guided white glove approach where we say, tell me your problems, tell me your pain points, and we will tell you based on our expertise how we're going to solve it for you. So our clients don't have to come up with the SOPs and the step-by-step processes. Kyle, I want to get out of my inbox. Tell me how I need to get out of it. Okay, great. Here are 3 proven ways we've done it for leaders for the last 10 years. I like option B. Here's what I'm going to do now to take that off your plate. So that's our specific way. It's a more high caliber approach that's really going to guide you versus you having to come up with all the training and processes and SOPs. Because like you mentioned, that doesn't help. It's very counterproductive to, I'm extremely busy. Now I just brought someone on. I don't have time to train you. So they want someone to say, I want to take the least amount of your time to provide the max amount of value. Armando, here are the 3 pieces of info I need from you right now. Here's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to start doing work for you. I'll circle back when I need something else. And that's our specific kind of tailor-made approach we do.
Hallelujah. Let's just talk about what happens when people don't take action, right? Because you're going to continue to burn yourself out because you think that you are the one that can solve the problems, right? Yeah. And what happens? You're the bottleneck. I just left. Well, not just left, but it was in February or March. I went to the Exit Planning Institute.
Yeah.
And there's this whole new industry forming because all of these boomers are exiting their businesses.
Yes.
At record speed, like by the thousands, right? Yeah. They're exiting. And what's happening is that all of these people are, bottlenecks in their business. They haven't created necessarily all of the processes and procedures. And so when they go to sell the business, it's just not worth as much as it could be. Yeah. Right. And that comes from this pride of, like you were just talking about 70-hour weeks, you know what I mean? Where they're all like, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. And, I've been talking to my staff every single time. I'm like, whenever there's a question, I need you to stop. I need you to figure out what that answer is, and then I need you to go document it, how you do it right now.
Yes, absolutely. That's a really, great observation, and I've noticed that as well. And the reason, and a couple of things that come to mind when you mention that, first is truly being the bottleneck, right? If you then end up in that rat race, if you have 25-minute tasks, those add up. Right? So Part of it is you end up in the rat race, but it does take the hurdle of you got to let go of the vine. You got to let go of the vine. And what we find is it's more of a question of how you can't afford not to delegate, right? Because you're missing out on opportunities. Things are slipping through the cracks. Maybe you're even not being able to retain some of your staff because they can't get your time or your attention, or you're not showing up for various meetings. And, so I find it's kind of two parts to it. The pain point is if you don't delegate, two things. One, you're going to work your nights and your weekends, and your personal life is going to be affected. Because what I'm in the business of is buying back time. Really, that's it. But it's buying back time. And there's two things you can do with that time. One, you use it to actually focus on driving your business, focus on that exit, focus on getting prepared, building your IP so you can do that exit at a top, valuation. Or the other thing you can do for it that's equally as important is do nothing with it. Do nothing with it. Go learn how to play guitar, make it to your kid's soccer practice, and that truly to me is what really gets me up each day and what really drove the forming of the business.
Yeah. Can you give me some stories about people you guys have helped and how it's transformed them?
Yeah. I'll give you two separate examples, one professionally and one personally. So first of all, professionally, we worked with a business coach for sake of conversation, and they do full day sessions with their clients, and had a hard time letting go of the vine because they're truly a solopreneur, and as a solopreneur, it's your baby, so it can be very difficult to let go of the vine. But we taught them, and we with process and confidence and professionalism, we said, all right, let's relinquish that inbox. Let it over to us. We're going to manage it for you. And that's very difficult. You essentially kind of air out your dirty laundry a little bit to people, and that can be nerve-wracking. So I want to acknowledge that. But what this beautiful transformation was is we got them to let go of the vine. And as a result of that, we have now built a process where they are actually spending less than 1 hour a week in their inbox. And for anybody who's even listening to this, that sounds like made up, a dream. And it's not. It's a reality for this individual. And not only that, 1 hour in the inbox, it's a focused inbox. So when they get in there, there's no shiny objects. It's just exactly what they need to deal with. And what's even more cool about it is we built a process where if leads or opportunities are coming in throughout the day, we're able to jump in as them and be able to keep those conversations moving forward. So in this particular example, this coach is in a session all day. They get out, 10-hour session. Gosh, I'm just exhausted. And the EA...
Last thing we want to do is answer questions, right?
Exactly, and go through emails. And instead, they just have a couple quick things their EA informs about. Hey, I know what those are. I'll deal with them the following morning. And then their EA says, hey, by the way, a lead came in today. I jumped in on it using our process, our template. I nurtured it, got it going. It's scheduled for Friday. And our client was like, oh my gosh, now I'm out of my inbox. And now I'm just having to show up for client sessions and warm lead calls, which is what they love doing. They're great at doing. So that's a really great example on the professional side where immediately they got ROI in 3 ways. Revenue, because now they're not missing. That lead's not sitting there for a couple days because they don't have time to get back. The energy, right? They're not spending their energy, and also just worry. There's a lot of value in just eliminating worry of being in with a client and not being able to be at your full, because in the back of your mind, you're doing one of these, looking down at your phone and wondering, what am I missing? So that was one particular on the professional side. And Armando, I'll give you one example as well. One of our early clients we worked with, the best compliment I've ever received really at this company is, Kyle, working with EfficientAide, having an assistant, you have bought back my nights and my weekends. Like, that is powerful. That is not only powerful, that is life-changing, right?
Yeah.
Getting home at a good time, having dinner with your family or hanging with friends and being able to recharge, have more fun, like you mentioned at the beginning of this convo. And that is something that has really stuck with me. And again, because it has dramatically changed their life. And that really is special.
When you tell me somebody's going to take over my inbox, gives me anxiety, right?
Yeah.
Anxiety, here are the things that I think about. And you can tell me what you think about these, right? I'm thinking I'm going to miss opportunities, right? Yep. Because maybe the person isn't, I don't know, they're not me, right? Like, how do they know how I'm going to respond? They, can hijack my email. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Respond in a way where it could damage my professional reputation.
Right.
So, I mean, those are the two things that stand out to me immediately.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on those?
You know what, Armando? That is exactly the challenges that we solve. And what I would say is there should be a bigger worry about missing opportunities if it's all going through you. Because there's going to be days where you're going to be at an all-day conference or you're going to be, traveling. So really what I find is that you're probably going to miss more opportunities by not having that EA. So that's my first gut on that. But I will also tell you it goes back to a different level of approach, which is this combination of professionalism and process. Everything you mentioned, we have developed proven processes of how to handle. And I'll also tell you, we don't want the keys to the Ferrari on day one. Let's build some rapport. Let's build some confidence, right? I don't want you initially to do anything besides just
I love
flag
that you
things
said
for
the
me.
keys to the Ferrari. That's great. That's a great analogy there, boy.
Yeah.
That's
Let's
great.
build it. Maybe give me keys to the riding lawnmower first. Or, let's do some slow build up until we can build that process and build that confidence. And what that usually looks like is, hey, Armando, I'm not going to reply to a single thing in your email initially. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of the clutter, the low-hanging fruit, blatant email marketing messages or things. Then I'll slowly work on flagging and sending you an end-of-day email so you can reply to what I believe is important. Then third is, hey, now that we've built some rapport, now let's identify those key players or key scenarios. Let's make sure you have a confirmed template that I'm comfortable and going to send so you know what's going out. So it's a phased approach that a really well-trained EA should be able to guide you on. So then you can say, you know what? Here are the keys to the Ferrari now. Yep, you run with this. And so that's the first thing on the missed opportunity side. But security is a very big topic, right? Especially if you're working in a virtual capacity. They're not down the hall. For some folks, all of our clients are onshore, but there's obviously folks that work offshore, and it can be difficult to give the keys away. And for us, again, it's all about building confidence, rapport, having process, making sure we're using secure file or password sharing vaults to share passwords, to make sure we're doing a delegated inbox and getting your login. So no matter what, if your assistant replies, if it's a delegated inbox, there'll be a little disclaimer at the top that says, this is Kyle emailing on behalf of Armando. Even if Kyle signs it off as Armando, we're going to put that. You only have my inbox and you don't even have access to my folders. You just have the main inbox, my drive files, my calendar. So again, I think it all goes down to just a well-trained agency and assistant will have this process and will work at a pace that our clients are comfortable with and slowly peel back layers of the onion until you're confident in saying, wow, this works. I see the ROI. I'm not missing opportunities. You haven't hijacked my email yet. Let's start building more of that foundation together.
I love that you can tell that you've been in business a while and that this is the thing, right? Because you know that these are pain points for people as to why they probably wouldn't want to pull the trigger as quickly. And you're talking about your company will help hire the EA and help train the EA. Is that what you guys are doing?
Yeah. So what we have, Armando, is we have 3 services. Our flagship service is a fractional VA program. So you come to us and say, hey, I need a VA. I need some help. I don't even actually like using the word VA, really, because our folks, we call them EfficientAides because they do more than just admin style work. But for sake of combo, we'll say VA. So we do fractional VA services. That's where folks will say, all right, I need these 5 things done. I need you to manage my inbox, manage my travel, do all my calendar coordination, and I also need some help with CRM and data entry. Great, no problem. We build a scope of work. We'll take one of our W2 EfficientAides who's on our bench, and we'll say, great, here is an EfficientAide we've trained, is ready to go. They'll work directly with you and start solving that. So those are folks that fractional and virtual school with. Done deal. We'll give you someone turnkey, buy back your time right away, and hopefully be with you long term. But we also have folks that say, Kyle, I already have an assistant. Well, then we have a 30-day train your assistant program. So we will train current assistants. So, Kyle, I have an assistant. I actually hired my colleague's daughter. We have good rapport, but hey, this is new. She's green, and I don't have the time to invest in that training. Well, they can engage with us. We do a customized one-on-one training program, build the processes, give them all of our tips and tricks we've developed. And the last program is for folks like, Kyle, I want an EA, but I want someone in person. And I want to actually hire them directly as a W-2. I don't want to go through an agency. I just want to hire them direct. I need more of their time and energy. We have a 30-day recruiting program called our Find Your Assistant program. We are not a recruiting company. We're an assistant company that knows how to find really good assistants, because that's what we've been doing for the last 10 plus years. So we'll go out, we'll optimize the job ad, we'll post it, we'll screen it, present it to our client, go our separate ways. So to answer your question, we'll either be your assistant. If you have one, we'll train them, we'll up-level them. If you're looking for an assistant, but the virtual model or fractional model is maybe not for you, no problem. We'll go out and find them for you.
And you guys are nationwide?
That is correct. Absolutely. We have clients coast to coast, and we have our EfficientAides all throughout the country. We're a fully remote company.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to pull some of these questions from the interview topic. So, how do you gauge the ROI on one of the on an assistant?
Yeah, good question, Armando. And it goes back to something I just quickly addressed on previously, which is you'll gauge it and you'll gauge it in three ways. ROI in terms of revenue, because like I mentioned, you can't afford not to be doing this. If you take any leader listening to this, calculate your hourly rate. Then just for sake of example, just figure out how much time you spend just going through junk mail or mail that you're copied on, and you spend 10 minutes reading through a 10 email thread. Like, gosh, this has nothing to do with me. I don't know why I just spent time on this. So one, you're going to see it in terms of that in revenue. Also, as mentioned, like opportunities. There are a lot of leaders out there that get so many emails, and they're in so many million places they miss opportunities. Leads come in, they're not followed up promptly, or customer service maybe isn't as great because they're the bottleneck. So first you'll gauge it in terms of revenue. A lot of our folks and clients that we work with, they'll see an increase in revenue because there's more time they're spending building and growing the business, networking, business development, rather than doing these administrative tasks. Next is time. Immediate buyback on time. Like I said, your nights, your weekends. Are you actually getting home at 5 o'clock versus 8 o'clock? Are you now not working on Sundays anymore because you got to catch up? It's time. And lastly, it's that energy. Because a well-trained EA, like you said, quality of life, having fun. We spend too much time stressing and getting anxious. Having someone you know that has your back, who can be that thought partner you can call up and throw an idea off of, or someone you know that has your back to make sure you're not going to miss something, it helps eliminate, and you get an immediate ROI as well in terms of your energy. You have more energy because now you're doing things you love doing, you're great at doing. And I have a good feeling that if you're a business owner, something that doesn't drive and give you energy is probably not filtering through junk email and replying to emails. You want to be doing podcasts and talking with people and being live interaction. And maybe that back end stuff isn't something that maybe you enjoy as much. And I don't want to put any words in your mouth, but it's common that we see. Owners are owners and founders because they love delivering the service. And it's all that other stuff that bogs them down and sucks the life out of them. And
really does.
Those would be the three main areas that I would say, and where most clients come to us are. They're low in those areas and in particular spots. And then once they can get in a good groove with an assistant, they're seeing those levels go up very, very quickly.
Yeah, I would recommend. So we use Harvest.
Yeah.
Time tracker.
Yeah.
Oh man, I highly recommend if you're a business owner, just to track your time for a couple of weeks and see what you're spending your time on.
Yeah.
Because it will be enlightening.
Yes.
You know, as to how much time you are spending on emails and how much time you're spending on just stuff that you shouldn't even be approaching. And that's what happened with me. I started really tracking my time, and I was like, oop, delegatable. Yes. And then I just started doing that. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Kyle,
I'd
where
say
can they
quickly
find
on that point, Armando, Most leaders also, I will also have this feeling that it's not delegatable. They build it up that no, nobody can do this but me. And so I just want to address that real quick, in that if you're talking with someone who's the right person and they've been doing this and they're well trained, they will be able to say, no, actually, it is delegable. Here's what that could look like. Because just the fact that you're able to say delegable, that's kind of a struggle and a bottleneck for a lot of folks out there. They're like, it always has to run through me. I promise you it doesn't. And even if an assistant can get you 90% of that task done and you do the final 10, that alone has bought you back a tremendous amount of time. So I just wanted to quickly address that, because I hear that often.
100%, man. It's what I'm starting to train my staff to do is when they're coming to me with a question, I'm like, how would you answer it? Give me 3 answers that you would do. Yeah. What is the solution? What is your solution? Yeah. And then it's usually like spot on. I'm like, great, go with that. Yes. Go with that. Just go with that. Why do you guys, I don't need to answer every single question here. Yep. As a matter of fact, I'm not in the trenches, so why are you asking me? Yeah. Like, I'm so far removed from those operations. Like, you're talking to the wrong person. Yeah. So,
yeah. It's always, present problems with solutions so that you're able to say, yep, I like option B. Go do that. I'm going back to what I'm doing, but I like that. And you're exactly spot on.
Heck yeah, man. Kyle, where can they find you?
Yeah, appreciate you asking. So you can go to our website. It's EfficientAide.com, and that's AIDE.com. I'll also tell you, and my integrator and COO may not approve of this, but it's okay. I love to help people out. So truly, if you're even thinking about this, and you're like, I don't know what this could look like, there's no way this is even possible, help first. I just love to help people out. Email me directly. KYLE@EfficientAide.com. I have no problem. I'll send you a link. We can hop on, just a help first educational call. No sales. Let's just learn, and maybe you'll take something from it, whether we work together or not.
Heck yeah. I appreciate you being here, Kyle. You guys seriously need to get the help because if you are the bottleneck, you got to unbottleneck your company. So reach out, guys. These guys are great, have great reputation. So thank you for being on, and I'm going to see you next time.
Thanks, Armando. Appreciate it, man.
And that was Spaghetti on the Wall, brought to you by Leduc Entertainment. For all of your video production needs, podcasts, organic social, we got you. Keep watching, keep listening, and we'll see y'all next time.